Setting up your charting workspace. We're looking at a Euro US dollar cross workspace on this charting service. This is a charting service that I prefer, which is Fibonacci Trader. Tell them Chris Laurie sent you if you go there, but it's not really necessary to subscribe to a third-party charting service if you have sufficient charting on your dealing platform. And we always recommend that you, if you're use what you can for free first. And if you have to pay for something, then sure, if you want an upgrade in service or upgrade in quality, and you want to pay for it, then by all means go pay for it. And if you are going to pay for it, this one here, Fibonacci Trader, is $55 a month. So it's very, very reasonable for what you get. And you've seen me, of course, working with the software throughout this course. Now on this Euro US dollar workspace, what I have here is I've got pretty well all of the charts that I need. I've got everything from a monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute, and a 5-minute chart. And naturally, see, if I want to move from euro, because I'm constantly looking at different currency crosses, because the euro may be a dog to trade for a period of a month or 2 months, or maybe even longer sometimes. And I'm constantly scrolling through various currencies. And if I wanted to move from the euro to another currency, I would simply pull up my pages menu, and I have various pages of different currency crosses to choose from on this computer. So I've got euro yen and some of the other majors, as well as Australian dollar. But on my other computer, I will also have the New Zealand dollar, and I'll have some of the more exotic crosses should I decide to trade them if they're presenting good opportunities at the time. Now, there's two primary components that you want to look at, or primary options that you want to create for yourself. Number one is having a variation of currency crosses available for you to immediately be able to jump to the page. So for example, if I wanted to go to my US dollar Canada page, I simply would click on the US dollar Canada page, and it would take that page up for me. And as you can see here, I only look at limited number of charts, typically the higher time frames, because I usually don't trade these very often on shorter term trades, but mainly on the higher time frames. If I do want to, then I will scroll down to some of the smaller time frames, but typically I trade the higher time frames on this one. Now, the other option that you want to have, and I actually use probably the most predominant page that I have up when I'm not actively in a trade, is I will have the page that gives me all of my 60-minute charts. So here, for example, I can pull up all 60-minute charts, 5-minute, 4-hour, 2-hour, 15-minute, dailies, weeklies, and so forth. But I like to have up, I'm going to click on this, the 60-minute charts, and I like to have the 60-minute charts up because, again, the 60-minute chart gives me a very good generalized view of what's happening over the period of the last 6 or 7 days. As you can see, the grid here, the vertical grid, the space in between represents the past several days. So we have the current day, and then the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 days. And I can compress that to bring in more data as well if I want. I can compress it significantly, or I can compress it so it's a more user-friendly view of the recent price action. And what it allows me to do is it allows me to see if some of the currencies are in sync with one another, or if some of them are lagging one another. And I can just quickly, what I can do is I can quickly scroll or jump from one currency cross to another. For example, I move here from euro yen to see what euro yen is doing. And as an example, right now the euro yen has moved quite a bit for the start of this session, as we are just starting a new week and Asia is open for the week. And as you can see, we have moved 25 pips on the euro yen, and something's pushing it, and it's probably the yen cross. And if we go over here to yen, we see that yen is moving as well. downwards, and the euro is also, it's in a tight consolidation, hasn't moved much, but is at the lower end of its very, very narrow range, and thus we see the euro yen moving. And what I'll do is I'll constantly move from one chart to another just to see how well they're synchronized. And I've got my parameters set up to know where I'm going to potentially make a trade on various currencies. But I just want to show you here. I can get in that in the next session. But I just wanted to show you how I will move from one viewer resource to another. And for example, if I want to scroll down to all of my 15-minute charts, then I simply click on the 15-minute page, and my 15-minute charts on the various currency crosses will appear, because it's typically the 15-minute charts where I will refine my trade and possibly manage my trade on the smaller time frames, because it gives me the view of the fractals, or the ranges within which the dealers are currently dealing price, and it gives me a very close view, whereas the 60-minute chart will not give me this type of a view. And as we can see here, we're trading in a very tight range of from 80 to 92, of about 10 pip range here as we open up the new week of trading. And what I like to do is I'll have only the tools that I will commonly use available to me, and make those available to me. There are a multitude of tools that can be used on these various charting services, and I only will usually pull up the ones that I need. And if I do need something that's in the storage area, then I certainly will go there and access it and bring the tool up on the chart, so it's very user friendly. The idea is to be able to work with efficiency. And that's about it. You can cascade these, or you can align these charts in any manner that is most user friendly to you. You can cascade them if you like. If that is more user friendly as well, I simply like to just have them tiled, so I can move from one to another very easily, and also somewhat keep an eye on the data feed.